Welcome to Think About It with your host, Jaden Miller.
Good day, and welcome to Think About It with Jaden Miller. I am your host, Jaden Miller. Thank you guys for joining me on this Wednesday. It's a beautiful day here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, I just want to remind you to please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow it. So if you all know anyone that would be interested in listening or watching, I would certainly appreciate it. Please share it with them. Please like, please subscribe. Feel free to comment on it. And then also, of course, I'm on your favorite podcast platform. So I'm on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Castbox, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, all of those different podcast platforms. So if any of those are your favorite, then feel free to listen, comment, and follow. All right. I really do strive to drop new episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. And so this is the Wednesday edition of my Think About It with Jaden Miller podcast. All right. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about relationship stuff. Maybe things that can help you in your relationship. So I'm going to talk about something called attachment theory. Now, before I start, let me just tell you, I am not a relationship guru. You know, I am married, just like, I've dated before. And just like anybody, there's things that come up in your relationships that you need to find out about, to work on so that you can have a better relationship. So that is my goal today, to help you. To point you into the directions that may help you understand your partner and understand some psychology surrounding them in relationships. All right. So hopefully by the end of my discussion here today, you will know the different attachment styles. And I found that there are 4 of them. And I think by learning them, you'll learn where they come from, how to recognize the different attachment types, and perhaps even what type of attachment makes for the best relationship for you. All right. So just a little background, based on the original researchers of attachment theory, they would be 2 researchers named Ainsworth and Bowlby. They would identify attachment style as an attachment is a deep and enduring emotional bond that connects one person to another across time and space. Now, of course, most people refer to attachment styles when they talk about relationships, but they don't necessarily pertain to relationships. You can be attached to a friend, an animal, a person who doesn't have any emotional bond to you, or, of course, a parent or a child. So attachment theory was first started by John Bowlby in 1988. And surprisingly, there was no previous comparable theory for emotional attachment. So it was quite a revolution at the time. All right. So there are individuals. There is an author, Sue Johnson of Hold Me Tight, and she places Bowlby ahead of Freud when it comes to humans' contributions to our understanding of psychology. All right, so where do attachments come from? Well, there are different takes on how attachment styles, depending on what they give more weight to, genetically and or pre-programmed at birth, through parent-child interaction with life experiences. All right. So as it's often the case with complex personality traits, it's very possible and likely that a mixture of them all contribute to our attachment styles. And I'm going to tell you what those attachment styles are in just a moment. Our genes, our life experiences, and parental caring, plus more, all contribute to shape our attachment styles. So an attachment system is a pattern of emotions and behavior that sets off when our loved ones move away from us. It is already evident in children. Here's a good example for you. Think about it. When their mother goes away and a child starts crying, that's his way of bridging the gap and reestablish contact. This same thing happens with adults and their romantic partners. All right. So let's talk about the attachment styles in children. Attachment styles can be already recognized in babies. For example, this is how the different attachment types react when the mother leaves the room. Check these out. All right. So there's the anxious attachment style. All right. The child becomes extremely distressed when mommy leaves the room. When the mother returns, he is ambivalent, angry, and happy at the same time. it takes him longer to calm down. And when he finally pacifies, he angrily pushes the mother away, often followed by more tears. That's that anxious style, anxious attachment style in children. There's the secure style, all right? This is when the child is visibly distressed when the mother leaves the room, but when she comes back, he is happy and calms down, all right? And then there's the avoidance style. When the mother leaves and comes back, he acts as if nothing happened, but it's only a facade. Researchers show that the baby's heart rate is as high as those who show extreme distress, and their cortisol levels, an indicator of stress, are also high, all right? So these are the attachment styles in children. Well, we're going to try to connect these and see how they impact those of us as adults, and especially in relationships. All right. So, of course, it is human nature to seek contact in relationships, to seek love, support, and comfort in others. We have a need to belong. Okay. Well, have you ever noticed repeating patterns in your love life? Maybe you have never really thought through or analyzed your behavior in relationships. Still, you might have noticed repeating patterns in your love life. Have you wondered why you keep ending up in the same situations, even with different partners? Do you get too clingy or jealous, or do you always seem to be more involved than your partner? Maybe you want to be with someone, but as soon as things get emotionally intimate, you back off. If you have noticed a pattern of unhealthy and emotionally challenging behaviors in your love life, you might benefit from digging deep and exploring the way you attach to people in intimate relationships. All right. So as we talk about these intimate relationships for adults, all right, there are still 4 adult attachment styles. There's the anxious style. There's the avoidance style. There's the disorganized style, and then there's the secure style. I'm going to go through each one of these, and what I want you to do is think about it and try to determine which one of these styles fits your personality and how you've been acting towards your spouse or your significant other in relationships. Okay, so first there's the anxious style. How does each of these 4 attachment styles manifest in adults? Well, let's start with the anxious style. Number 1. For adults with an anxious attachment style, the partner is often the better half. The thought of living without the partner or being alone in general causes high levels of anxiety. People with this type of attachment typically have a negative self-image while having a positive view of others. The anxious adult often seeks approval, support, and responsiveness from their partner. People with this attachment style value their relationships highly, but are often anxious and worried that their loved one is not as invested in the relationship as they are. A strong fear of abandonment is present, and safety is a priority. The attention, care, and responsiveness of the partner appears to be the remedy for anxiety. On the other hand, the absence of support and intimacy can lead the anxious type to become more clinging and demanding, preoccupied with the relationship and desperate for love. All right, so that's the first one. That's that anxious style. All right. Secondly, we have the avoidance style, or it's also called the dismissive style. So here we go. The avoidant type would often perceive themselves as lone wolves, strong, independent, and self-sufficient, not necessarily in terms of physical contact, but rather on an emotional level. These people have high self-esteem and a positive view of themselves. The avoidant type tend to believe that they don't have to be in a relationship to feel complete. They do not want to depend on others, have others depend on them, or seek support and approval in social bonds. Adults with this attachment style generally avoid emotional closeness. They also tend to hide or suppress their feelings when faced with a potentially emotion-dense situation. All right, so that's the avoidance style. Is that you? Does that fit you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel and follow me on your favorite podcast platform. All right, so that was number 2. Number 3, the disorganized style, okay? The disorganized type tends to show unstable and ambiguous behaviors in their social bonds. For adults with this style of attachment, the partner and the relationship themselves are often the source of both desire and fear. All right. So the disorganized people disorganized people do want intimacy and closeness, but at the same time experience troubles trusting and depending on others. They do not regulate their emotions well and avoid strong emotional attachment due to their fear of getting hurt. All right, does that sound like you? And out of the three that I've mentioned, if they don't sound like you or they are you, well, if it doesn't, is it your partner? All right, think about it. Is that your partner? All right, number 4, secure attachment. The 3 attachment styles covered so far are insecure attachment styles. They are characterized by difficulties with cultivating and maintaining healthy relationships. Now, in contrast, the secure attachment style implies that a person is comfortable expressing emotions openly. Adults with a secure attachment style can depend on their partners and in turn let their partners rely on them. Relationships are based on honesty, tolerance, and emotional closeness. The secure attachment type thrive in their relationships, but also don't fear being on their own. They do not depend on the responsiveness or approval of their partners and tend to have a positive view of themselves and others. All right. So now that you are acquainted with the 4 adult attachment styles, you probably have an idea of which one you lean towards. All right. Now, I just gave you a brief synopsis of these. What you can certainly do is go to a search engine and find out about the 4 attachment styles. There are quizzes that are out there. You guys can determine which one fits you. All right. So again, there's the anxious style. There's the avoidant style. There's the disorganized style, and then there's the secure style. So find out where you stand, all right? And then when you find out where you stand, try to use these to determine where your partner stands, all right? And if you have a great relationship with your partner, but you have some issues that come up from time to time, both of you all should take the attachment quiz. And again, all you have to do is Google it online. You can find it, all right? And you can kind of determine which one of these fits you, all right? So it is completely normal to recognize features of different styles in your history of intimate relationships. Attachment styles can change with major life events or even with different partners. An insecurely attached individual could form a secure bond when they have a securely attached partner. A person with a secure attachment style could, in contrast, develop an unhealthy relationship behavior after experiencing trauma or losing a loved one. So there is no need to fit any specific profile, all right? So the chances are that many of us don't fully belong to a securely attached group. Even if we think we have stable relationships, there might be patterns in our behavior that keep bothering us or keep making us stressed or unhappy. Unfortunately, some individuals will recognize themselves in one of the 3 insecure profiles, the less healthy ones. In that case, it is preferable and highly recommended that they address the issue actively and, if necessary, seek individual assistance. All right. So strongly expressed insecure and unstable attachment styles can cause anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. But here's the thing. This struggle is simply not necessary, as there are many ways to heal and recover from attachment disturbances. So let's answer these questions, okay? Or ask these questions before we answer them. Are you tired of struggling with or ruining relationships after relationship? Are you embarrassed about being too clingy? Are you desperate for love and attention? Are you fed up with feeling anxiety over whether your partner loves you? All right. Well, again, it's so important to learn what your attachment style is. All right. And then try to seek the assistance that you need in order to have a much, much better relationship. All right. So again, there are those 4 relationship styles, those 4 attachment theories. I'm sorry. And again, we've got the anxious, we've got the avoidant, we've got the disorganized, and of course we've got the secure. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you all to determine which one of these styles fits you. Okay. And then, of course, if you're having problems in your relationship based upon the things that I share with you, determine which one of these styles fits your partner. All right. And once you do so, it'll give you a very practical understanding on how to get better relationships. You'll develop a better and deeper understanding of people. All right. To do so, it is very important to understand your attachment style first and to be able to recognize others' attachment styles as you date them. All right. So again, this podcast today, I'm just sharing with you what they are. All right. And giving you an example of each one of them and telling you to take the next step now in your relationship. All right. So now that you've taken the quiz and determined who you are, what attachment theory you are, then use that same quiz to determine what the attachment theory of your partner is. All right. And then after that, I would suggest that you both sit down, all right, and review them together and find out, because there is certainly a great deal of assistance out there. Find out how your style, and then the other person's style, how you guys can accommodate each other. All right. So if you have an anxious style, okay, but your partner tends to be avoidant, all right, then maybe perhaps it's time to have that conversation with your partner that's the avoidant, so that they can be a little bit more respectful of your need for emotional closeness. All right. So that might be the issue. It's really about talking about it, determining which one of these theories fits you, and then coming to some common ground, being respectful of each other's style. And what you really, really want to strive to do is to move to that secure attachment style. All right. A lot of this stuff started when we were children. Some of it based on life experiences. There could have been some issue or some life event that happened, that caused us to be a part of any of the three, mostly insecure styles. But the goal for your partner is to move into that secure attachment where you both have a positive feeling about each other, that there's no fear that one will leave, that the clinginess, or the jealousy goes away, and that you guys can really depend on each other. All right. So that's what I want you to do. That's the mission of this podcast today, is to help you guys to bridge those gaps in your relationships, to determine what the problems are in terms of with your styles, your attachment theories, and then to find a way to bridge the gap, find a way to come together so that you guys can have a much, much better relationship. All right. So again, thank you all for listening. Today is Wednesday. I appreciate you joining me on Think About It with Jaden Miller. Please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And again, don't forget to like, follow, and comment on your favorite podcast platform. All right. Listen, I thank you guys for listening today to my podcast. I hope it's been helpful to you. And again, comment if there's more information that you need. I'd be more than happy to share it with you in the comment sections. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you on the next episode of Think About It with me, Jaden Miller. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel, and like and follow on your favorite podcast platform.